Tell us about the picture that everyone has seen. So those of you that haven't seen, it's the picture of Karan with his arms folded, looking like a
Yeah.
bad man after a
Yeah.
13-hour shift in the middle of the hospital. And it's actually made it around the UK. Every time you go onto Karan's Instagram story, he's sharing something that I guess is found of
Yeah.
her being tagged in the picture. So
Yeah.
it's still going around and round and round.
Well, first of all, I've got to say thank you, massive thank you to Jazz for letting me, giving me the time to take the portrait. We had I really enjoyed it. The whole project was great. I think because of the time when I shot the project, it was after that very first lockdown, and I photographed 20 people across the Birmingham region, and people were so welcoming and so happy to give their time. So I spent like a good couple of hours with each person, sometimes 3 hours with a person, which, normally it's kind of like people want to get things done quickly, but people were just so happy to spend their time because we'd had such, we just hadn't had much social contact with people because of lockdown. So it was in 2020 that summer. And it was brilliant because I remember I came and it was about 6:37. And so the light was dimming. So we shot the portraits first. And straight away when I was shooting Jazz, he just had such a presence. And I wasn't directing him, but he had such a great presence in terms of just the way he was standing. And I don't like to direct a lot. And it was good. It was a good moment. And I think it's funny because I think some of your colleagues were walking behind you. So we had to wait for them to pass. And there was all of that. So it was really good. And then we sat and chatted for about an hour or so, didn't we? It
was quite surreal, wasn't it? I really, really remember that day. It was really, I don't know if it was a warm day, but it was definitely
it was warm
outside. And I remember, what do I remember from that day? You had that really cool camera, which I want you to talk about. Isn't it? It's not like a camera here. It's like she was holding the camera like here and taking the photos. Like proper, like I'm going to say old school, but it's not old school, but it was just like a proper camera. I remember that very vividly. I remember, I think the children had done some paintings on the windows, and the one was about a rainbow, and I think you captured that as well. I remember thinking really cool. That, which I'd been in the hospital every day. I hadn't looked at it, but you pointed out to me, and I was like, that's really nice. And then the other thing I really remember when I look at that picture now is this is actually before I got back into the gym, Indy. So I've been out of the gym for ages. I was like at my worst in terms of like body shape and everything, and hadn't done my hair or anything. And I was just like, oh man, I look so rough, man, in that picture. Everyone keeps telling me, oh, you look really nice.
You don't have to do your hair. You're wearing a patka. Like,
no, I'm at my beard, man. Like my beard, as in,
you're wearing a face mask all day. It's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But you know what's funny? My someone else I photographed as part of the project. Naviola. So she photographed her in Sutton Park, and she said to me, she showed the photograph of herself to her hairdresser or to a friend. And they were like, wow, you look amazing. And she goes, I hate my hair. And so then she went and got a haircut after she saw the portrait.
Oh, wow.
So I think people are more self-conscious when it's themselves. Yes. But yeah, you look, I mean, I didn't pick up on any of that, what you just mentioned.
No. I mean, this is just because like people keep saying, "Oh, is this you? Is this you?" Like the picture. It's actually really interesting. Like, in hospital now, Jazz, people literally come up to me and they'll just start doing this. They'll start posing like this. I'm like, okay, yeah, but it's a bit like, I'm like, you understand? The photographer won the award. Okay, this is all about her. Like, I'm literally just the model. Like, it's really odd, like feeling. I'm like, I haven't done anything. Somebody came up to me today and said, oh, we saw that you won photographer of the year. I said, no, I'm not the photographer. now they get confused about who's a photographer. And I was like,
well, technically it was Portrait of Britain, and you are the person who's got in the portrait. So you are definitely a part of winning it. I think there's different elements for me that make up a good portrait, and a lot of it is that collaborative nature with the person you're working with. So, and I can't make the kind of work I make without people like yourself who are willing to give their time and energy to support it. So yeah, no, it's a collaborative win.
Absolutely. I think I want to give a special shout out to, I think it's your family member, isn't it? Cousin Karan.
Yeah.
So Karan, Indy, Karan and I went to university together. She's at UOB in the Bhangra team as well.
Was this how you made the connection?
She reached out to me. She said, "Oh, I've got. I think she's your cousin, isn't she?"
Yeah.
Just yeah. And she said, "Oh, my cousin's a photographer. She's looking for someone in this space. Are you interested?" Yeah. And that's how it came about. But yeah, it's a big shout out to Karan for sorting that out. But yeah, our conversation was really good. I remember I remember actually going really deep at like you asked whatever you wanted to ask, and it's really nice actually. Like you said, people were happy to share, because I think what I felt at that point is people were seeing what they saw about COVID on the news, but now you got to come inside and you saw the inside of the hospital, and it's not like, okay, you saw some of the stuff that we weren't like particularly ducky or anything. Like we were like, okay, this is what it is, and this is our story. We want people to know that we are getting through this. And I think for me, that was the big thing, to let people know that COVID is here, COVID's still here, but we've got a story to share. And that, I think that was what was amazing about your magazine that you produced. It was stories across society, and everybody had a story. And it's something we always say. I always say to people, like, you should always share your story. You've always got a story to tell. You might not think it's going to help you, but it'll help somebody else. And we always say that. But COVID was such a great example of how everybody was dealing with it in their own way. Everybody had their own challenges and struggles. Yeah. And then you had that, but then you captured it with this image, which like immortalizes whatever it, immortalizes. Now, when I ask people, it comes up like, okay, so what do you think when you look at the picture? You just get so many different responses. Like, I know I can't remember what I was thinking at the time. I think I was just trying to, look like cool or whatever. But people are like, oh yeah, it really gives a sense of this and inspires this. I'm
smoldering
like,
as if he's the Rock.
I was like, if you're getting that from the photo, I'm really happy, man. If it's inspiring these like confidence and all these things. And obviously from a sick perspective, it's really nice. I've had a lot of people saying, it's really good, that we're on the map now, and you put Heartlands on the map. My hospital is so happy now. They're like, oh my God, Heartlands, nobody talks about Heartlands. It's like in the shadow of Queen Elizabeth. Now you put us on the map. I was like, well, there you go. You need to let more people into the hospital so they can see.
Were you allowed to go and shoot at that time to go into the hospital? Because I'm assuming you had to get some kind of clearance in order to be able to enter.
I'm going to level with you. I didn't ask anyone, man. I was like, we're just going to do it.
Well,
it's one of those where, no, it's one of those like, I'm a doctor. No one's gonna say anything to me, right? So no one's anything. I just came to the front door. I was like, just come in, right? And then everyone just gets a bit like everyone gets excited more than anything. So they see a photographer and it's not like they're like, I'm going to go and tell on you. Have you got permission? They're more just like, oh, wow, this is so cool. So people are more like that. And they were just like, okay, yeah, let's get out of the way. But I was like, bureaucracy is going to be, I'm going to ask permission. Then it's going to go to like 20 different decision makers, red tape, blah, blah. We miss it, man. This is like once in a lifetime. COVID is happening. Let's capture the moment. So I was like, forget all that. And now the hospital loves it, isn't it? They're like, oh my God, you put us on the map. So no, I did not ask anybody.
And we just kind of walked around. Whatever Jazz said, I was just like, what? So how are we doing? And I was like, yeah, that works for me. Because
like, I'm with him. That's it. Escape answer. I'm with him. I'm with the doctor. That's it.
Oh man.
Well, it is just trying to avoid that bureaucracy, like you said, because you can just get tied up in red tape sometimes, and actually, you just want to talk to one person, get their view on things, and and I mean, I guess if I had shown Heartlands in a bad light, then I would have been in trouble. But it's been all good. So
champion.
This has all come across really well.
There was one.
How have you felt, Jazz? Actually, seeing your picture up all around the country.
Well, this is the thing now. So I was in Oxford two weekends ago, and I was in Westfield. I think it's the Westfield Mall, and my friend was like, "Oh, look, BJP," and I was like, "Okay," and then we stood there. And I was like, "Oh my God, I might actually get to see myself. I haven't seen it. People keep sending it to me," and so we waited there for like 15 minutes, and then they were like, Jazz, it's like 100 photos. Like, come on. I was like, all right, you play that game. Like, can't tell. All right, five more photos. And they got 5 more photos. He's like, all right, one more minute. And then like you're going down the escalator, you're still looking, trying to catch it. So I haven't caught it myself yet. But even yesterday, Indy, Manny messaged me. So Manny's one of our friends, Jazz, and he was like, I'm not sure if it was you, but I was in Leeds and I saw this photo of you, and I was like, yeah, it is. So it's just, when you said like it's going to go around the country, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting the outpour. It was more like that. I'm like so overwhelmed, like at the reach. Like it's just, I mean, JCD are like the biggest advertising. Well, they're the one I know the most company. Yeah. And so it's just everywhere, and it's just amazing. And actually what I did do when mine didn't come up is I looked at all the rest, and I was like, this is actually, it's amazing. It's amazing that they're sharing
because that happened. So I went with my husband and kids to New Street to try and spot it myself. So, and we stood there. It must have been 50 minutes. And
550.
Yeah, we were there.
Oh wow!
But I kept thinking it's going to be the next one, and we saw everyone's. And actually, same like yourself, I was seeing everyone else's, and I was just like, wow. the stand of work is just beautiful. And it gave me a real appreciation that, wow, this is quite a big achievement.
Yeah.
And then, but I was really desperate, obviously, to see your portrait and see it up. And so then the kids were getting antsy because they were just stood there. So my husband, they started going up and down the escalator. So they've been up
playing a
and
game.
down
I was
the
going to say
escalator.
50 minutes. I'd be surprised if a kid stands there for 5 minutes.
Well, they
honestly.
weren't. They were just running up and down, but I was stood in one spot with my camera ready, trying to get the picture. But I managed to capture everybody else's, but my own, basically. And they went up and down the escalator about 5 times before my husband was like, "We need to go." I was like, "No,
I love it.
I'm sure it'll be the next one."
You brought your tent.
Yeah, I was ready, but yeah, so I haven't managed to go again yet. But I've managed. Well, so many people, other people have seen it and sent me photos, which has been so kind.
No, exactly. It's just very inspiring. Again, it'll live with me for a long time. And if we ever get to collaborate in the future about another pandemic that happens or whatever happens, then
let's hope. Let's hope it's in better circumstances. Yeah. Right? Come on.
Well, look, if it does, I will be ready, man. Like body will be there.
You can't do the same picture again. You have to do a different pose now, Karan.
No, we had some other poses. That was the one that was selected. But don't worry, man. I'm gonna have like Thanos's like gauntlet or something. I'm gonna do something cool. Man.
Man, imagine that.